Bengaluru today is widely regarded as the IT capital of India, with an IT hub that contributes a whopping 34 to 40% of India's total IT exports. It is also home to over 4,000 IT companies. These companies include Infosys with a market cap of over rupees 7.8 lakh crores, Wipro with a market cap of over rupees 3 lakh crore, HCL with a market cap of over rupees 5 lakh crores. Bengaluru is also home to global giants like Google India, Amazon India, KPMG, Adobe or Deloitte. But it was in 1999 that the Karnataka government formed the Bangalore Agenda Task Force comprising of prominent business figures such as Azim Premji from Wipro and Nandan Nilekani from Infosys. The initiative aimed at drafting a strategy plan for Bengaluru's growth as the centre for IT in India. This was the brainchild of Mr. Somanahalli Malaya Krishna, also known as SM Krishna, who served as the 10th Chief Minister of Karnataka from 1999 to 2004. His proactive strategy established Bengaluru as a global centre for innovation and technology. SM Krishna was known for his corporate-style administration, and he lay emphasis on public-private partnership in Karnataka. He formed task forces and brought advisors from various sectors to drive technological transformation. The IT task force, led by N.R. Narayan Murthy, made over 50 recommendations, including an international airport, which helped put Bengaluru on the global map. Bengaluru Airport, which now connects more than 100 non-stop destinations, is the third busiest in the country today. SM Krishna's government played a crucial role in Bengaluru's transformation by introducing labour reforms, streamlining investment processes, and creating a favourable environment for businesses. Policies that supported 24/7 operations and night shifts for women helped fuel the industry's growth. He believed that e-governance was a prerequisite for industrial reforms in the state. In fact, SM Krishna created two email accounts, smk@bangaloreIT.com and cmkrishna@bangaloreIT.com, and facilitated a platform for people to share their concerns online. He personally responded to many emails, dedicating at least 30 minutes daily when he was the chief minister. It is due to his groundwork that today Bengaluru's startup ecosystem houses over 5,000 startups, including unicorns like Flipkart, Ola and Swiggy. Bengaluru's GDP grew at an annual rate of 20.7% during his tenure, exceeding the national average of 7.9%. Former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee once remarked to Mr. SM Krishna that global statesmen now preferred visiting Bengaluru over New Delhi. SM Krishna belongs to the Vokaligga community, a dominant peasant caste of Old Mysuru. His roots are in Mandya, a town in southern Karnataka located about 100 kilometers from Bengaluru. SM Krishna started his political career in 1962, winning the Madur Assembly seat in Mandya as an independent candidate. SM Krishna's early life was defined by determination and a thirst for knowledge. He earned a law degree from Maharaja's College in Mysore and furthered his education in the US, graduating from Southern Methodist University and the George Washington University Law School as a Fulbright scholar. Such was his commitment to brand Bengaluru that in 2022, at the age of 90, he wrote a letter to Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai expressing concern about brand Bengaluru as a global destination due to the pre-monsoon rain havoc. He also suggested reconstructing the Bangalore Agenda Task Force. It is not a coincidence that the current Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, D.K. Shivkumar, has announced the formation of a task force for Bengaluru. This is the story of how SM Krishna became the architect of India's Silicon Valley and made Bengaluru what it is today. I begin this conversation. We have with us on the broadcast right now Rashmi Sawant, author and former SU president at University of Oxford. Rashmi, As you, of course, read more today about Mr. S.M. Krishna, and it is in unfortunate circumstances India has lost an icon. However, it gives us an opportunity to go back and reflect on his ideas and thoughts and writings. What is that strikes most to you?
I think, firstly, this is a very sad day for Karnataka and the whole country, that we've lost a very tall leader whose contributions to this country have been immense, and especially to the state I hail from, Karnataka. Today, Karnataka is, synonymous with the word Silicon Valley, not just in India but across the world. It's known as the Silicon Valley of the East, Bangalore, especially the city. And we have the city to thank for a huge chunk of the GDP contribution that the state makes, the revenue, the kind of opportunities that the youth today have, including myself, in this very state. And I think we have uh, SM Krishna to thank for the dedication, for the fortitude, for the foresight he showed in the way that he built up Bangalore, in the way that he ensured that the youth will always have global opportunities right at their doorstep without having to leave their state, their motherland, or their country for the same opportunities. If not, I feel like people seeking to work in the Silicon Valley today here in Karnataka would have to, look for ways to leave the country and go to the United States or somewhere else. But today we have the same opportunities, the same global exposure here, and we have him to thank for. And I think the youth, especially of this country, is forever indebted to him for having that foresight, for having brought the future to this country. And I think again, it's truly a sad day as a Kannadati, as a Bharatiya, that we've lost such a tall leader.
Absolutely. I want to also bring in, on that note, Kalyani Shankar, senior journalist, into the conversation. Kalyani ma'am, if you could perhaps shed some light on the legacy of Mr. S.M. Krishna for some of the younger viewers that could possibly be watching us.
S.M. Krishna, I have got to know him through my professional life, and I had known him as a chief minister and also as the external affairs minister, and later also when he left Congress, I had met him. So, I mean, I have some personal knowledge of his qualities. He has a very good modern mind, and many people probably did not know that during Kennedy's campaign in 1960, S.M. Krishna, as a student, wrote to him saying that he would like to campaign for him where Indians are there in the US. So he agreed, I think. So S.M. Krishna campaigned in the places, and then ultimately Kennedy won. And then later he wrote a letter to him appreciating his work. So this is one of the, since those days he's been thinking of this kind of thing. And then after becoming the chief minister, he not only built up the Silicon Valley of India, Bengaluru, but he inspired Chandrababu Naidu, Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister, United Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister at the time, to construct the Cyberabad also. In fact, that was a prototype with Chandrababu had followed. So ultimately, the two cities, Hyderabad and Bengaluru, became competitive partners, and that is how they both brought together India in the IT map. So that is another thing for him. Even as an external affairs minister, by the time he was a little old, so he was losing memory also. And that is why in 2011, when he spoke in the United Nations, I think by mistake he read the speech of the Portugal minister, for which India, there was a lot of attack on him, and ultimately he had to resign in 2012 and then go back. And he was very proud of his state and also the country, and he was hoping till the last that he would be utilized, though he was very advanced in age. But that didn't happen. That left Krishna a little, sad that he wasn't able to do as much as he wanted to. And the Congress, he was one of the tall Congress leaders of South. Today, we don't have any leaders in the Congress from the South, hardly any actually. So he was one of the leaders at that time, and then he could have been utilized by the Congress much better than what they did. Ultimately, when the new dispensation of Rahul Gandhi came in, he was treated as a old. He himself has said that he was treated as a old man, and then they wanted some young people, and he didn't fit in that, and that's why he waited and waited. He didn't get any encouragement to even campaign in the assembly elections. So he was disgusted, and then he left the party and then joined BJP. I mean, after 47 years as a congressman, he took this very painful decision. He himself says that. So then after in the BJP also he wanted to do campaign, and then ultimately he didn't campaign for the last elections because there were some problems anyway. So he was a politician living the life of politics and always modern thinking and always wanting to do something for his state as well as the country. So I would say that he's one of the tall leaders whom we have lost today, one of the last generations of the very erudite leaders. So it's going to affect both the country as well as Bengaluru also to a certain extent. So I really feel sorry that he's no more now.
Absolutely. Ma'am, I'll come back to you in just a moment. We have Gautam Mukherjee also with us on the broadcast. Gautam Mukherjee, I'd like to begin the conversation. Same question to you, of course. As we get a moment to really look back at the legacy that Mr. S.M. Krishna has left, not just for what he's done for Karnataka and Bengaluru, but for the rest of India through his efforts and through his vision for what Bengaluru should be. What is it that you are remembering him for today? Okay, we seem to have lost our line with Gautam.
S.M. Krishna was a highly educated, is fairly rare. Hello, yeah. S.M. Krishna is a highly educated politician, and whenever we've had a highly educated politician in any state, they have made signal contributions. Now, in his case, he was both a central minister, a figure well known all over the country, as well as one of the towering figures in Karnataka. He established the IT vision and executed it, and was the first to do so. Hyderabad followed. Today you have Gurgaon as well. Various other people aspire to establish IT hubs, but it all began with him. And he was elegant, erudite in all that crassness that you see amongst many other politicians. He was certainly an old school politician, born in 1932, and is somebody that we will miss. But at the same time, what a spectacular career throughout. He died at the grand old age of 92. I don't think he could have had very many regrets. Devika.
Right, absolutely. I want to bring Kalyani ji back into the conversation. Kalyani ji, do you feel that somewhere it becomes crucial for politicians today, as Gautam Mukherjee also pointed out, when Mr. S.M. Krishna, highly educated but also visionary, for politicians today to really look back at the methods that were employed by statesmen and by visionary leaders like Mr. S.M. Krishna, and how over the years we've seen Bangalore really transform because of the thought leadership that he provided back in the 90s, which was required.
Well, you see, I can't say that today's leaders are all not educated. Most of them are even foreign educated. Some of the big leaders have sent their children abroad and then they've studied there. But the only thing is that they don't have the experience, and they have absolutely no idea how the election is conducted, what to do to win, how should one become popular among the people. So these things are all they are lacking. That is the reason the disconnect with the people, voters, is what is making Congress not doing well. The BJP, of course, is different. They start right from the beginning. They have a party machinery, and then RSS helps them. So it's a different kind of thinking. So as far as other leaders are concerned, I wouldn't say that Krishna was the only one who did. There were other people also, other leaders who had done well and who had, like Biju Patnaik. He literally built Orissa. Today, Orissa is one of the better states. So that way there are other parties and other people also. So to that extent, I refuse to agree with you that the today's leaders don't know. They don't know they don't have the practice. That's what I would say, and they should be experienced enough. That is also lacking. They bring somebody who has come yesterday to make the Congress Working Committee leader. So he wouldn't have gone through the mill. You see, like even in our journalism, the reporter comes and suddenly you made him or her the editor. Then they won't have. They have to go through the mill. If that is lacking, then they cannot perform. So that is the problem with today's leaders. And anyway, I can't simply say brush everybody in one go that they are not good. There are good leaders even today. There was good leaders earlier. There were bad leaders yesterday, and there are bad leaders today. So that's a totally different thing. And today we have a social media. The world has changed today. You see, that is why I think you have to have the future is going to be digital. So the present day leaders should be prepared to be good in all these things. That is how they can build up with the voters. And I just wanted to remind you about one thing, that S.M. Krishna was one of the very few leaders who had been in the assembly and in the legislative council, then in Lok Sabha and in Rajya Sabha. So all these were very few leaders are like S.M. Krishna had the experience. And he was also a good sportsman. He loved tennis, so he used to, even during I think Sonia Gandhi told him that during 1999, that he should not touch the tennis racket until the elections are over. So that was the rumor that time going on. So he has interest in various other fields. He was a good cinema buff also. He knew about actresses. You remember Rajkumar. During his period only that great crisis happened. He was abducted by that Veerappan. And then, there was about 112 days or something. There was so much hangama in Bengaluru. So it was almost riot-like situation. But because he was a very big popular leader, but ultimately he managed to overcome the crisis. So he's a man who will be remembered by even who do not know as a person who they should emulate.
Right, absolutely. I request all our guests to stay on with us, because we will now quickly take everyone through some of the iconic moments that have been put together by our team in tribute to Mr. S.M. Krishna. Firstly, we're talking about academic achievements. S.M. Krishna studied law in US, attending the Southern Methodist University and George Washington University as a Fulbright scholar. We've also learned that former US President John F. Kennedy wrote a personal letter to S.M. Krishna on the 19th of January 1961, thanking him for his contributions to the campaign. This early recognition from one of the most iconic American presidents was a pivotal moment for S.M. Krishna. Then his role as Chief Minister of Karnataka, where he served as the 16th Chief Minister of the state from 1999 to 2004, leading the Congress party to victory in the state elections. Further on, his role as Governor of Maharashtra. S.M. Krishna held positions of Maharashtra Governor from 2004 to 2008 after his tenure as Karnataka Chief Minister. Then he came to become the External Affairs Minister. He served as India's External Affairs Minister from 2009 to 2012 in the UPA government. The UNGC meeting in 2012 is another iconic moment, describing terrorism as one of the most potent threats to international peace. S.M. Krishna called for universal rejection of acts of terror and piracy. Then S.M. Krishna went on to join the BJP in 2017. Nearly 5 decades later, S.M. Krishna left the Grand Old Party, the Congress, in 2017 and joined the BJP, claiming dissatisfaction with the Congress's direction. S.M. Krishna then announced his retirement in January 2020 after serving as a politician and a political leader for over 60 years. Gautam Mukherjee, bringing you back into the conversation, as far as his decision to really leave the Congress party and join the BJP in 2017 is concerned, what do you really make of that bold decision that was taken by one of the longest serving as well as one of the tallest leaders of the Congress, when he said that he just didn't agree with the direction the party was taking?
You know, the Congress since 2014 has been in a slump. And even prior to that, it was, you know, the era of coalitions was the beginning of the end, because Congress never really understood how to work with various people. And even today in the India Alliance, it is creating a lot of discomfort amongst its partners, because it tends to work alone rather than with people, even though it claims to lead, but it doesn't. It just does whatever it feels like on its own. So in the era of coalitions, gradually Congress lost power in state after state. Then the BJP came in once under Vajpayee, and then, of course, big under Modi, and they have, you know, pretty much dominated the landscape. There are just 3 states with Congress now. The present leadership is not a patch on the previous leadership of people like Indira Gandhi and Jawaharlal Nehru. You know, to name just 2, though Rajiv Gandhi also was the first person to start modernizing. And of course, Narasimha Rao from his neighboring state was, in my opinion, the first great mover of what you see today's economy. Because, you know, if he didn't liberalize and he didn't make all the things politically possible, I don't think Manmohan Singh could have done very much. Manmohan Singh as Prime Minister did very little. The only thing you can really call spectacular under him was the agreement to get nuclear power plants going along with America. Apart from that, he couldn't really do anything in 10 years, whereas Narasimha Rao was probably the tallest Congress leader in modern times. Of course, Nehru was the first, Indira Gandhi consolidated, but Narasimha Rao is, if you like, the father of the Indian economy and its expansion, that we now aspire to become the 3rd largest. Now, a person like Krishna was part and parcel of the tall Congress, not the rump Congress, not the pygmy Congress. They couldn't use a person like him. He's a Fulbright scholar. He's very bright. He has worked across the landscape in Karnataka, all over in the center. And, you know, they didn't know what to do with him, possibly because they didn't know what to do with themselves. So Karnataka is one thing, but finally when Krishna left and joined BJP, well, like many other politicians, it was the only place to go.
Right, absolutely. I've last few moments left. I want to bring in, let's bring back Rashmi, if we can, to the conversation. Rashmi, as far as now the youth is concerned, or the startup ecosystem is concerned, what do you think that some of the younger people then ought to learn from the legacy of Mr. S.M. Krishna?
Well, I definitely feel like what the youth have to learn is resilience, patience, and sort of coming back to roots, because he did decide, despite having foreign education and exposure, to come back to Mandya to represent his people. I think the startup ecosystem, the young people, they need to, self-center their priorities, to bring back priorities to their people, to solve problems of people back home, and to bring that perspective to help people and to sort of appreciate the origins that they come from. I think that's something that we have to learn. And the second thing is just consistency over a long period of time. His legacy was built over decades with constant effort and resilience. And in a fast paced world where young people want immediate results, I think knowing that building legacy takes time, effort, and resilience is something that we can surely take a page out of the book that is the legacy of S.M. Krishna. So I think so many lessons in resilience, many lessons in fortitude, many lessons in foresight, and many lessons in sort of going back to roots, remembering your roots, and helping the people who made you who you are. I think these are the basic lessons that today we all need to take from him, the inspiration that will perhaps be endless for generations to come.
Right, absolutely. We've completely run out of time, but I thank all of our guests for joining us to take this very pertinent conversation forward. With our viewers, we sip into a short break.